Welcome back to the Stockwell Eldridge Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
And I'm Dawn Eldridge with Remax Results.
Nikki Knuckles, Wells Fargo is here, and Julie Jepson with Stepping Stone. And we were on break, and Nikki brought up a statement, and this can mean many things. It can mean something completely different to any single person, but making a house a home. What does that mean, making a house a home? For you, it could mean, that you have your stuff in there and you have your holidays you celebrate there and your kids and your parents and come over and things like that. Or it could just mean you have an apartment and it's you alone and that's your home and you want to make that your home. So our theme will be making a house a home, no matter what that is. And I'll introduce now and turn it over to Julie Jepson, the Development Director for Stepping Stone, and share with us about yourself, Julie, what you do there, and background about yourself and what Stepping Stone does.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Thanks so much
I love
for being
to
on.
talk about Stepping Stone because it's such a unique program that just ignites my passion and purpose for changing lives. I grew up actually in Denver, so I'm very familiar with housing booms. And my husband, who I've been married to now for 18 years, we had 10 different addresses during the first 8 years of our marriage. So we built new construction.
And you moved in every time? Nice.
We did. Yeah, 3 months here.
So that wasn't stressful at all.
No. We actually learned to enjoy the process and learn the process, so it wasn't too stressful, but we didn't have kids at the time either, which makes a huge difference.
That is a big difference.
I can't imagine.
No, but during that time, you see a homeless person on the side of the road at the bottom of, an off-ramp to a highway holding the sign, looking disheveled as a stereotypical homeless person does. And you consciously think to yourself, why in the world do they not just get a job? Isn't there a better way?
It's hard not to think that.
Oh, it's impossible not to think that.
Yeah.
Can you just figure out a way to get a job, get some money?
We see them downtown. When you're going downtown, you see someone on the side of the road, and you're right away. And we've all heard the story of, well, don't give them any money because they're going to go out and buy alcohol or drugs or something.
Yeah.
So then you're kind of like, I got that in the back of my head, but then you're like, man, they probably could use, but anyway.
It's a very difficult, uncomfortable situation for everyone, I have to believe, even for them. But working at Stepping Stone now for 4.5 years, my mindset has taken a complete 180 because you learn so much about poverty and you learn so much about homelessness, and the dynamics that goes into all of that is pretty profound and eye-opening. And so rather than looking at them saying, why don't you do something, I turn the finger back on myself and say, why do I expect them to be able to do something? Because you don't know what their life was like. You don't know their story. You don't know how they got there.
Right.
The vast majority of those individuals have a significant mental health issue.
Really? Yeah.
And the vast majority of the residents who stay at Stepping Stone can't work. They will never be able to hold a job. So what do we do as a society to support them? And I can tell you, I can guarantee you, it's so much more cost effective for taxpayers to support these individuals through organizations that are actually doing the work and changing lives rather than keeping them on the street. It costs taxpayers $40,000 per year to keep one homeless person on the street.
How is that?
The primary reason is because of health care. The reason why it's so expensive is because they use emergency rooms for their health care.
Yeah.
They can't be turned away. They have to get help. And usually they wait until the very last minute when they're extremely ill.
Problem,
it's a major issue. So one way we combat that is, our philosophy is taking away barrier after barrier after barrier. Because I got to tell you, it is not a lifestyle choice for our residents.
Well, what I was thinking too, when you drive up and see someone there and you're thinking, and they're not, clearly you have to be in dire straits in a bad, because no one is like, I'm going to go out and stay on the corner now and I want to do that. How demeaning is that? How bad must that feel?
Right.
I've
done it.
Have you really?
Yeah, I've done it. And it wasn't because out of necessity, but I was part of an internship program, Diversity Institute, and they thought I grew up with wealth. And it was quite the opposite. I've shared here before. I moved 35 times before I bought my first home in my mid-20s, like
Wow.
you, right? And I grew up in poverty when I was young, and it got better. So I didn't grow up with privilege. I just happened to be at a very good college, the U of M.
Yep.
And so they said, Nikki, bring these type of clothes tomorrow. So I was like, okay, fine. And they gave me a sign and said, go stand on the corner. They assumed I needed to walk the shoes of someone that was poor.
Wow.
And I stood out there with a sign on the University of Minnesota campus.
Wow.
And I will, if it is, even though I knew I was going back to my apartment,
Right.
the feeling that you get, because truly people thought that I was standing on the corner with a sign, the looks.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
It's dehumanizing.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah, it's breathtaking, actually.
Yeah. So
Or- Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's so the people that stay at Stepping Stone and suburban homelessness is very different than urban or rural homelessness even. So because you can't see it. So when you're driving down Highway 10 or wherever in Blaine down Central,
Yep.
you don't see a homeless person sitting there on the corner
Right.
asking for money. But it's at one point when the economy was kind of at its worst, Anoka County, which is where we serve
Yep.
the greatest population, had a higher homeless rate per capita than Hennepin County.
Wow.
Wow.
Really?
So suburban homelessness does exist.
Yes.
It is a serious problem, and we just don't see it. So Stepping Stone serves 66 men and women, 18 and older. We have 66 residents at all times. Just yesterday, our program director told me we have over 100 people on the waiting list.
Really?
Yeah.
So what does Stepping Stone do then?
So
Because we've had we were talking over the break. We had I don't remember what organization it was on the show in the past last year, and it's right on Park or on Portland Avenue, Minneapolis, and they offer one night stays where
Right.
they have a line out every night, and then they offer a shower and a bed, and then maybe laundry day or something like that once a week. I can't remember how it works, but they always turn people away pretty
Yeah.
much every night. They don't have enough space. So how does your organization work?
So
for
Stepping Stone takes a very, very different philosophy. We've been told by state government policymakers that there's nothing like Stepping Stone in the state, let alone the country.
Really?
And so we're not your stereotypical homeless shelter where they fight for a bed at night and get a hot meal. We are their temporary permanent address. And at the bare minimum, having that address, now they can fill out an application for housing. They can fill out a job
Because they have an
application
address.
Because they
Yeah.
have an address. It's crazy that is
Yeah.
the least we can give them. Moving forward along the spectrum, we provide all of their basic needs. Everyone says, don't give out handouts, don't give them money, because who knows what they're going to do it. But for the basic needs that we give, the 3 meals a day, the hygiene items, the beds, the towels, the sheets, the blankets, the laundry, the showers, that's compassion. Because it's physically impossible for someone who is surviving to fulfill their basic needs on a daily basis to even contemplate a future.
And that's a question I have is, so a lot of you listening and myself even too is thinking, okay, how do you get there? Like a lot of us think, okay, we're a bootstrap nation, like pull yourself up, get out
Right.
there and make it happen. And you've got all this, it's all within you. You got Tony Robbins, you got all these people telling you like you can do it. And how does it get to that? What do you see, and what are your people you serve? What are their stories, or some of their stories that get to that point?
Every person is different. There's no
Yep.
cookie cutter homeless individual or someone experiencing homelessness. But the two biggest factors that we see is a lack of support system. When I was at church a few years ago, the pastor said, think of 5 people who you would go to if you were in trouble. I mean, you could list 5, even more people. Homeless people don't have that list. They don't have anyone to go to when they have a health problem, they need help. That and mental illness. 60% of our residents have a diagnosed mental health issue. Now that's just a doctor's diagnosis. About 95% of our residents should have that diagnosis. Because varying from light depression all the way to schizophrenia, these individuals have some serious needs that are not being met. To some extent, we can fulfill those needs, we can serve those needs, but a lot of it is just connecting resources for them to get the help. The other thing that we strive to do and what makes us so unique is that we remove as many barriers as we possibly can to get out of the way of a homeless person's self-sufficiency. And ways that we do that is by providing a satellite workforce center, adult basic education coming into Stepping Stone. We have a great relationship with the Anoka County Libraries, where we have a librarian that comes once a week and works with technology issues and online applications and even a Facebook page, because nowadays you have to be online. You have to be present online. We have financial literacy classes. We have Alina volunteers, professional Alina employees come in voluntarily and help with our current and preventative health care needs. And that's a huge reason why we are so cost effective with that $40,000 that I just mentioned a little bit ago. Because then those professionals get them the right health care. They get all their medication under one doctor, under one prescription. They teach them how to use our healthcare system so that it's not always going to the emergency room. We also, a great need is dental care. I mean, our teeth are something, we are blessed to have healthy teeth and able to go to the dentist, but these individuals can't and don't. So having a dental van come every other month is really helpful.
Oh.
Wow. That's really nice.
Yeah, so there's, it's a full, your facility, is it a building or it's full, you said? You have 66?
We do. So this time of year, it gets really interesting around where we are because we're on the old state mental hospital grounds.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Wow.
So the state, the county now got it from the state, and we occupy one of the buildings.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Well, we'll more with Julie when we get back. This is very interesting and heartfelt, a lot of this stuff. So we'll be back soon. Thanks.
Stop and stop.